Our last one today that's going to close out our demos is a company that is at the forefront of mobile marketing. Join me in welcoming Matthew, Senior Vice President of Marketing at AdAdapted, for an interactive look at how technology is reshaping the ad tech industry. Welcome, Matthew, to the stage.
All right. Afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Cates. As I said, I head up the marketing team at a company called AdAdapted. We are a advertising technology company, and we focus specifically on developing solutions for the CPG industry. Before I jump into my presentation, I just wanted to first say thank you to Lydia Mitchell and her team at Ann Arbor Spark for putting on a great presentation today. Also want to do a shout out to Cahoots Co-Marketing, just located over on Huron. That's our home where we spend our days working and coming up with these wonderful solutions. They're a great co-working space. So if you're interested in finding a community spot where you can collaborate, create, and connect with other people in the same industries, please look them up. All right, jumping into today's presentation. So what I'd like to really focus on is what we see as one of the biggest problems in digital advertising today. And that problem is this button, this buy now button that we encounter probably multiple times every single day that we're on our phones or surfing the net in some other format. Now, I'm sure some people are saying to themselves, Matt, that button isn't a problem. That button is magical. I press that button and things appear on my doorstep the very next day. In fact, sometimes I press that button and things appear on my doorstep an hour from now. So that button isn't a problem. That button is magical. And in certain situations and for certain products, you're right. But when we look at that button, we see a problem. And in fact, we see three specific problems. And those problems aren't just for advertisers or companies like myself. They're problems that you as consumers encounter every day. So what I want to do is walk you through what each of those problems are and then tell you what we're doing to address it. So problem number one is buy now only. It's basically a one-size-fits-all solution that doesn't fit every scenario. So yes, if you're Nike and you're dropping a new pair of Grinches, people will slam that buy now button as if they're on a game show trying to win a prize. And you could also be a local pool company. You target the right people, pool owners at the beginning of the season, and there's a pretty good chance they're gonna say, yeah, I'd like to book your service. I'd like to buy that service now. You hit me at the right time. So yes, it does work in certain situations, but not all of them. Now, these are our clients. As I said at the beginning, we focus on consumer packaged goods companies. And those are basically groceries that range from food, beverage, beauty product, over-the-counter medicines, all those different things that you see in your grocery store, Walmart, Target, pharmacies that you see every day. And buy now only isn't a good solution for this industry. And I'll share with you my own personal passion and love to kind of illustrate that point. So I don't know about you, but I love this product so much. And I'm not gonna ask how many other people love toaster strudels, because then we'll get in a big toaster strudels versus Pop-Tart debate, and that could lead to pandemonium. Suffice to say, both are amazingly wonderful products and tasty, but if you ask me, if you give me the choice, I love this flaky pastry filled with fruit and drizzled chocolate, or drizzled frosting right on top of it. It is fantastic. So, if you can only imagine how excited I was when I saw an ad a few months ago for Toaster Strudel's donut flavor. My first reaction was, hell yeah, sign me up. Yes, please, I'll buy 10. But I will not buy 10 now, because that's not how grocery shopping works, right? Grocery shopping is a planned purchase. We spend several days, maybe a week, planning out those purchases, adding those products to our list, preparing for that next grocery shopping occasion, whether that's in-store or online. It's very rare, even for a toaster strudel loving guy like myself, to hit that button and buy that product right now. It just doesn't fit what we do. And so buy now isn't a perfect solution for that. Now, you don't just have to ask me, this toaster strudel loving guy. We asked 2,000 consumers. We said, let's say you see a digital ad for a CPG product that you like. So by the way, a CPG product that you like, we're not just saying any product out there, because we don't click on every product that we see, but a product that you actually like. What is the action that you'll regularly take after that? And people can answer more than one of these things. So a CPG product that you like, you can answer more than one. only 18.2% of the people said they'd buy it now. So that buy now button only is helpful to less than 1 in 5 of people who shop for consumer packaged goods. The vast majority of people gave some sort of I'll buy it later indication. I'm interested, but some will say I'll add it to my retailer cart, and that way next time I'll purchase it. Others will say I'll add it to my grocery list. Many of us do that. And some people will just say, you know what, it's great. I'll keep it in mind the next time I go to the grocery store. Now, buy now isn't the only type of advertising out there. There's types of ads called awareness ads, and they don't have buy now buttons on it. And the concept of an awareness ad is I'm going to expose you to an advertisement 2, 3, a handful of times, and that'll create top of mind awareness. So next time you're at the grocery store, you'll remember our product. Now, does that work? To a certain degree, but let's pressure test that for a second. You walk into a grocery store. A grocery store on average has 15,000 to 60,000 SKUs. If you go into your super centers out there, over 100,000 SKUs. An large online retailer, over 1 million SKUs. So let's think to ourselves. I saw a digital ad while playing a mobile game a few days ago. I saw it for 3 seconds. What are the odds you're going to remember that item when you walk into a grocery store with tens of thousands of items in it several days later? So does it work? To a certain extent, it has to. That's why advertisers do it. But is it the most effective solution out there? Not so much. So that's problem number 1. Buy now only, with maybe a dash of, I hope they'll remember it later. Problem number 2 is something we bump into all the time and we deal with. We just deal with it. It's called click friction. So you see an ad for a product that you like and you're interested in, and you say, yeah, I'd like to buy that. And I click on it, and all of a sudden you're hit with all these obstacles, all these hurdles are thrown at you, almost as if to get you not to buy that product. I click on the ad, then I'm taken to another page. It says, you want to add it to your cart? I say, okay, I'll add it to my cart. Then it says, okay, do you want to view your cart? Okay, I'll view my cart. Then you get hit with the login, which always scares the crap out of all of us, because now I got to remember what that is. And then eventually I can check out. And the problem with this is we're adding friction at every single point. And at the end of the day, what happens is, of those people who clicked on that ad originally, only 5% of them will actually successfully get the item into your cart. Now think of how terrible that is. Advertisers work incredibly hard to just, literally you're lucky to get 0.1 to 0.2% of people out there to click on your ad. And then there's 100, for every 100 people who raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'd like to buy your ad. Only 5 out of those 100 people complete this obstacle course journey that's in front of them. That's terrible for the person who wants to buy the product, really bad for the advertiser who'd really like to sell it to them. So basically every click matters. And to illustrate that point, survey question as well. We said to people, after seeing an ad for a CPG product that you like, how much less likely are you to purchase that product based on the number of steps required to purchase it? And if you just start in the middle, at 3 steps, 21% of the people said, I'm much less likely. Much less likely at 3 steps. At 4 steps, that number of much less likely doubles to over 42%, with another 29.5% saying I'm somewhat less likely. So again, we're creating steps and friction that get in the way of people who actually do want to buy what you're selling them to actually buy it. So click friction, that's number 2. Number 3 is these ads can be incredibly disruptive. So what do I mean by that? And we all get hit by this every time, and it's like each time it happens, we're like, oh, fooled again. So you're browsing, you're playing a mobile game, you're consuming video content, you're reading an article, and you click on an ad, and what happens? All of a sudden it takes you out of that experience that you were in, that you were enjoying, and it opens up a whole nother page, and now I'm dealing with that when I was over here enjoying myself, and my whole experience is kind of disrupted. And that disruption really actually does frustrate people. So again, don't trust me, let's look at the survey. So we asked people, after seeing a digital ad for a CPG product that you like, how much less likely would you be to buy that if clicking on the digital ad took you away from the article, the video, the app that you were enjoying? And that frustration of being disrupted hurts your chances of selling a product. 35% of the people said they're much less likely, even though it happens every day, much less likely to buy that product if you disrupt me from what I'm doing, from what I'm enjoying. And another 37.5% said they're somewhat less likely. So over 70% of the people, again, we're just, the solutions we have out there are getting in the way of consumers who want to buy a product and advertisers who want to actually sell that product, even in the most perfect situations. So those are our 3 problems. We've got buy now only with a dash of maybe they'll remember it. We've got click friction, and we've got this disruption force. So it's really easy to point out problems, right? They're all around us every single day. It's much harder to actually solve them. So fortunately for me, I work with really smart people, far smarter than I am, who spent countless hours coding, working on integrations, filing patents, using words that I quite frankly don't understand but pretend to on a daily basis. And they've come up with a really good solution that actually solves all 3 of these problems. And the great part is, despite all the complication behind the scenes, from a user experience, from when a consumer interacts with an ad, it's just effortless and simple. And really, that's all that matters. So let me walk you through it. So imagine yourself, you're on your favorite website reading an article, you see an ad for a product that you like, and you click on it. You're not taken away from that article. It just basically says you start from, hey, are you interested in buying this product? If you are, click and say save to cart. I click and say save to cart. The next message you see is, hey, thank you. Your item's been added to Albertsons, which is a grocery retailer's cart. And then we ask you the question, would you like to go to your cart now, or would you like to go back to reading your article? Just click the X out. I personally want to just go back to reading my article. So I click on the X, I'm reading my article. Several days later, I may have even forgotten that I did this. I likely did. I open up my Albertsons app, and all of a sudden that product is in my app. Didn't need to do anything else. So how do we do that? Well, we partner with retailers, and what we do is we'll partner, in this case, with an Albertsons, and we'll target their known shoppers, people who are, we know regularly go there, which is the best type of person to reach out to, and we'll target those people with an ad. And when that person clicks on that ad, we're actually, in that moment, not adding it to their cart. What we're doing is recording 2 simple things. One, what's their user ID, what's their loyalty shopper ID, and what's the product that they clicked on. And that goes up in the cloud. And then days later, or if they want to do it immediately, and they open up that app or log on to the website, the first thing that it does is it reaches up into the cloud and says, okay, does this person with this loyalty ID, did they click on any ads and add anything over the last period of time? And if it sees something, it instantly pulls it down. But when I say instantly, I mean like there's no wheel spinning, time spinning. It is as if it was there all along, which is all that matters to the person. And so, simple solution out there that addresses all 3 problems. First, we've got our buy now only, but instead we're saying save now, buy later. You can buy it now if you want to, but odds are you want to buy it later. We give you that choice. Second, click friction. Remember all those steps, all those hurdles that destroy a person's chances of buying. One simple click and it's in your cart. Next time you open up the app, it's there. Problem solved. And lastly, that disruption. I'm not forcing you away. You stay in the experience, you add it, and then I nicely ask, hey, do you want to go buy that product now? No, that's okay. Continue reading. It'll be there later on. All 3 problems solved, 1 solution. Complicated on the back end, but a simple, fluid consumer experience. And what's really amazing about that is, remember earlier when I said for every 100 people who raise their hand and say, I want to buy your product, only 5 buy it? In this case, it goes from 5% to 99%, a 20 times improvement. And all we're doing is not forcing people to buy it, we're actually helping them, making it easier, not making it hard. Consumer wins, companies, advertisers win, and that is what really makes this a magical button. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. If you want, we're at booth 33. Stop by and say hi, or visit us over at Cahoots today or next week. And if we're not there, just reach out to Tyler, who's the general manager of Cahoots. He'd be happy to show you around. Thank you again. Have a good day.